Absolute chaos in the Vuelta today. GC Kuss 6 minutes up the road. Jumbo Visma throwing dual leaders at Evenepoel. This was La Val d'Uixó to the Observatorio Astrofisico de Javalambre. It's a hard stage beforehand, but there's 4,000 meters climbing in this stage, and the finish is a tough one. 11Ks, 8%. Big gaps here in 2019 when Lopez went crazy. We didn't see the break formation. Unfortunately, Kelderman crashed, and also Jay Vine, one of the most important riders in the UAE squad for Ayuso Almeida, crashed out of the race, and this break formation was chaotic. Going on for hours, Kemna trying to jump in, Quickstep trying to control things with Vavaka for Remco Evenepoel, but eventually there'd been whispers that he'd been in the break, he then hadn't been in the break. Is this the peloton, the first images we see? No, it's the breakaway for Jumbo in with Sepp Kuss on only 55 seconds behind Evenepoel. But they've also got help from Total for Stef Kras, from FDJ for Lenny Martinez on 17 seconds, so it's not just Jumbo with something to gain in this breakaway. They got a lot of help from the other teams, which was really important for this gap staying open, because Ineos and Movistar decided to help Quickstep, which is fair enough, I guess, particularly in the case of Movistar, because you can't just let Soler on 48 seconds and Kuss just take 6 minutes. The curious thing, though, was they had two of their best rouleurs left in the breakaway, and they didn't drop them back to help pull behind, which I thought was somewhat curious. Movistar as well, their best rouleur, Oya Lazcano, the breakout rider of the year, talking to the car, should I drop back? What should I do? We've got Rubio on the breakaway to go for the stage, but we don't want it to gain too much time. Can we just manage it from behind? So difficult decisions for Ineos, for Quickstep, for Movistar, and not probably the breakaway Quickstep would have wanted, with Jumbo Visma sitting pretty, hoping Kuss could take a lot of time. And this was a hard stage. I'm sure there was a lot of kilojoules, always up and down, in a line the entire stage. Erviti, Arcas, Hajduk, and Oliveira were outstanding, as well as the Quickstep rouleurs. They brought the gap down to 4 minutes, with Van Baarle pretty much the only guy pacing for quite a while. And so it wasn't actually looking too bad for Quickstep and the others anymore if that trajectory continued. But when it got to 3:30, Jumbo put Tratnik on the front, FDJ helped more, and you can see the virtual general classification. FDJ obviously incentivized to help Martinez get into the red jersey, and Movistar ran out of domestiques. Well, they saved a little bit, whereas Romo started to help for Astana in the front because he's got De La Cruz in the break. Knox is the man pulling for Quickstep against 4 strong rouleurs ahead, and he's a pure climber, James Knox, and we're on a 2-3% uphill drag. Yes, Ganna can help him from Ineos, but he's done with like 20Ks to go. So that gap goes all the way out again, and this is, I repeat, there's 2 Quickstep rouleurs in this breakaway, Vavaka and Cataneo. I really think they should have dropped Cataneo back, leave Vavaka ahead because he's probably the better climbing domestique, and over the top of that climb, the gap goes 3:15, and Van Baarle, Romo, Mollard absolutely shredded against an isolated James Knox, and they're thinking, do we drop Vavaka back? It was too late, because into the base of the Javalambre, that gap was nearly touching 4 minutes again, and one of the stars of the day, excellent domestique work from Michael Storer on FDJ. He was excellent in Tour de Limousin, actually, for Gregoire before, and Movistar was really good with Ivan Garcia Cortina. He was saved, and he did a fantastic pull at the base of this climb. It's still a big group. It's shallow at the beginning. The last 5Ks are brutal. Vavaka has finally dropped back, but he's pacing at about the pace of Storer, because Storer is a good climbing domestique himself, but the group is still big, so the fireworks haven't kicked off. Martinez is still in virtual red. The GC group is thinning out, though. You can see UAE are down to 3 riders. Ayuso, Finn Fisher-Black, Almeida. Remco's just got Hirt and Vavaka in front of him, and it's just Vingegaard and Roglic for Jumbo-Visma. Ineos struggling a little bit with Arensman and Thomas already looking suspect at this stage. Kuss was certainly looking at Soler because he was ahead of him on GC. Almeida sliding, doing Almeida things, coming back, and you see how undulating this climb is. Nasty climb. Then Rubio sets off. Winner on Jebel Jais in UAE Tour this year. Winner in the Giro d'Italia when Pinot got really mad. Not a rider to just let up the road, and Bardet responds with Martinez in the wheel. And curiously, no Sepp Kuss. Is he on a bad day? Has he struggled in the undulations? The answer was a pretty quick no. He was waiting to see what Soler would do, who was probably, they didn't want Soler to gain too much time on GC, and he attacks across and pretty quickly answers the question of how his legs were feeling, getting across to Bardet, Martinez. We wouldn't see them for a long time, because Roglic attacks in the group behind. Jumbo-Visma attacking on all fronts. Ayuso trying to close it, and look where Remco Evenepoel is. The red jersey makes him stand out. Already sliding with probably 3.5 Ks to go, with Vingegaard glued on Ayuso's wheel. Jumbo-Visma didn't really roll attacks on Arinsal the other day, but today Roglic attack put Vingegaard in a seat, and Cattaneo was dropped back to pace defensively for Evenepoel, and it was looking bad at this point for him, with Marcin Ayuso not really wanting to close all the way to Roglic. It looked at this point like a minute loss could be on the cards for Evenepoel, perhaps more, particularly if Roglic and the others could team up together. Almeida also dropping Remco, and Roglic was certainly looking a lot better than he did on Arinsal the other day, where he got toasted pretty handily in the sprint. Jan Uijtenbrug's also in that Mas and Ayuso group. Incredible from him, but all of a sudden we see Sepp Kuss clear. We didn't see his attack. He's at the Cabeza de Carrera. Bardet's gone, and then we don't see Vingegaard's attacked across, and he's brought Enric Mas with him, and now Attila Valter, who didn't pull from the breakaway, is dropped back to pull, whilst Remco is on his own. So Remco doesn't lose any time from this point, even with Valter pulling, even being isolated, so he didn't completely crack. He just couldn't respond to the Jumbo-Visma accelerations. They worked him over, they worked Ayuso over, and Mas kind of worked himself over too, with Vingegaard pulling, I think, pretty hard at this point, and Mas completely exploding later. But the stage win was gone to their teammate Kuss up the road. The only question remaining was, would he take the 34 or 35 seconds he needed to take the red jersey away from the 20-year-old Lenny Martinez? The answer was no, but the victory just as sweet anyway for Kuss, his third GT this year, instrumental in the Giro and Tour wins, and pretty nice to see Lenny Martinez performing so well, second on the stage, taking the red jersey. But Mas cracked really badly in the final kilometre, couldn't respond to the accelerations, and look who's back. Just like Pico Hano last year, just like Pandera last year, Uijtenbrug, Almeida, and particularly Ayuso finished really, really strong. And I even thought at this point, with 300 meters to go, he might even come back to the Jumbo-Visma duo, but that wasn't to be. Job done. Perfect day for Jumbo-Visma. Kuss in the breakaway, 2 leaders best of the GC group, and Ayuso 7 seconds behind the best of the rest for the GC contenders, and probably a day to forget for Remco Evenepoel, limiting his losses pretty well in the end. Only lost 35 seconds, but after the stage, a very popular winner, particularly in Spain, Sepp Kuss. Un petit cava pour le Jumbo. Sepp Kuss saying thanks very much, winning the stage ahead of Lenny Martinez on 26 seconds, then Bardet on 31 seconds. Landa also took time with Soler, pulls Rubio, Christian Rodriguez, Krasen, Cepeda, and Lenny goes into the red jersey, as I said. He's a very talented young rider, good punch as well for his size. Can't wait to see how he develops, but I hope you enjoyed the video. Crazy stage, reminds me a lot of the Vuelta last year. Can Remco bounce back? Let me know down below, and I'll see you with a recap tomorrow. Ciao.